everyone. Welcome to the GC360 podcast recorded right here at the Garden City, New York Media Studio. I am your host, Erica Becker, and on this show, we have some of the most interesting people in the community come on and talk about what they love to do. Today, I have someone who absolutely loves what she does, so I'm very excited to introduce Julie Marchesella. She is the owner, founder, president, everything of Queen of Hearts, the plus-size formal wear store. So, Julie, thank you so much for coming in this morning and being on the show with me.
Thank you, Erica, for having me.
Yeah, I'm very excited to get into this. So, as we know, you have had the store Queen of Hearts, which is a plus-size formal wear store that you specifically focus on, I know, a lot of weddings and things like that. But I want to start with how long you've had this store and what inspired you to create this.
I am in the Merrick community for 30 years. It was my home community for many, many years prior to that, so I felt comfortable opening up there. Basically, the plus-size lady has kind of been sort of a stepchild. And when it came to fashion, everything was just a big moo-moo. There was nothing fashionable. I can't say there was anything that mimicked what a Missy-size customer would wear or a smaller-size customer would wear, and I wanted to make it better. I was very fortunate to have somewhat of a fashion background and a sewing background. My grandmother lived with us, so she taught me how to use a sewing machine, how to crochet, how to knit. And I have to say my Barbie dolls were the first ones to wear some of the things that I wanted to create for them. So it was very enjoyable. And I always knew that I wanted a boutique. And even though my life path took me in several other directions, I just decided that the time was right and I had to do it.
Yeah. So as an entrepreneur, how did you go about starting it, and did you face any challenges at the beginning?
Well, I went back to school for fashion buying and merchandising at Nassau Community College. I was an adult, so I went at night. And while I had another job during the day, I enjoyed going to school at night, working with the professors. And the best part about it was the professors knew I wasn't just taking up space. I was going to utilize everything that I learned there, from window decorating to creative writing for press releases. So they took a special interest, and I think I benefited from that.
Yeah, definitely. So where your store, it's located where?
In Merrick, on
Okay.
Merrick Avenue,
Great.
in the downtown. And I wanted to, in doing the research for the business, I wanted to make sure it was easily accessible, because within the plus-size industry, and I am a specialty within a specialty, because I only do plus sizes, so people would, even though the market on Long Island is growing, at the time I was going to have to reach out to other communities and other counties, and I had to be easily, transportation-wise, get to me. So even though I would advertise in Connecticut and I would advertise in Westchester, some people thought I was a little crazy to do that. But the money was very well spent, because in Connecticut, the market was very slim. There were no plus-size stores there either. So people would come to me. So transportation was very important. So I was near the Long Island Railroad, near all major parkways, and I still have people that come to me from everywhere.
Yeah.
And now with the internet, it's made the world such a smaller place. They can Google me, queenofheartsusa.com, or they can Google plus-size formal wear on Long Island, if they are a resident here on Long Island, and they find me.
Yeah.
And it always surprises me how far women will come to find a plus-size gown.
Well, just looking at your website and speaking with you, I know that you do offer more styles and variety for plus size than I've really seen in any places. So people are definitely going to come because you are fulfilling a need that they have.
Yes.
Yeah.
When a lady has to look her best at her child's special event, be it a son or a daughter's wedding, it could be a 50th anniversary, it could be a 25th anniversary, it could be a vow renewal, whatever that circumstance is in, that is their special moment, and they have to look and feel their best. And in a world where plus-size ladies are somewhat, I don't want to use the word demeaned, but looked at very differently, and their self-esteem is an issue, it's my job to help them get over that hurdle and look and feel their best.
Yes. I definitely want to dive more into that conversation. We are going to take a quick commercial break, but we will be right back after these messages.
My father never stops moving, but after he had a brain aneurysm, he had a difficult time getting back to his normal routine. That's when I called Alliance Services. They paired him with Rosa. She developed a custom home care plan that helped him with his recovery.
Rosa helped me gain my independence back.
Alliance Services, helping older adults continue to live well and independent.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the GC360 podcast. I'm your host, Erica Becker, and if you're just joining us, we are speaking with Julie Marchesella, and she is the owner of Queen of Hearts plus size formal wear. So we were just diving into the conversation about really how difficult it has been for plus size women to find clothes to fit them well, clothes that are fashionable, and like you said earlier, not just a big muumuu or a big sack. So would you say that part of your inspiration for starting the store was to help these women to have more options?
Well, what sets me apart from many other formal wear boutiques is that specializing in plus sizes, everything in the store is a plus size. So every dress, every pantsuit, every skirt, every ball gown is available in a plus size to try on. And they really don't get that when they go into a formal wear store or a bridal store, for that matter.
That's very true.
So that has kept me separate and above. I'm also a plus size lady, so I can relate. And then, when they do pick out that special dress and they say to me, oh, by the way, if I should lose 10 pounds, can we take it in? And, my answer is, of course, we can take it in. We can't let it out. So if your intention is to lose the 10 pounds, go right ahead. Then we deal with the rest. But that is what sets us apart.
Yeah, that is very true. Mostly in stores, there's a little section that has a few plus size options, and everything else is kind of more the regular sizes. Now, since you've been in this industry for over 30 years, you've had this store, how would you say that you've seen it change as far as society looking at plus size women? How would you say you've seen that?
There's still the stigma. I can't say it's 100% better. I don't know that it will ever be even 75% better. Women are still looked at sloppy. How did you do this to yourself? Why did you do this to yourself? And there's lots of reasons why. But under the circumstances, ladies have to look and feel good. So it's my job to help them with their self-esteem and to enjoy who they are and to feel good about themselves. The good part about coming into a store like Queen of Hearts also is they can feel comfortable there, even when they're in the dressing room. They don't have to worry about a size 8 in the other dressing room next to them. Everybody's a plus size in the store. So, and even, with my seamstress, who's a plus size lady herself, they don't have to feel embarrassed if she has to unzip them or help them into their undergarments. And that's another thing that we help them over, because sometimes they haven't been fitted for an undergarment in many years. We tell them where to go, what to buy, what style number, and that kind of keeps them organized. So it saves them trips on to many other lingerie stores. Definitely. We know what stores carry, so we can recommend.
Yeah, that's great that you offer that, because that's such a big part of finding something to wear, as all women know, the undergarments. And so I love that you made it a safe kind of community space for them. So I agree with you that the stigma is definitely still there. It's changing, but it's a long way to go. So it's great that you've provided this option for them. And now, during the pandemic, you mostly are focused on weddings and anniversaries and big events like that for your formal wear. So how did the pandemic affect your business and your store?
The whole bridal industry was affected at that time. Catering halls were closed, churches, temples were closed, and it was a tough time. I lost my mom during that time also, and when I had spoken to the funeral director, just casually, what do you do when a family brings in an outfit for a lady that they're going to be buried in that doesn't fit? And he said, well, we don't really discuss it so much with the family, but we open the zipper, we rip open the back, we lay it over them, we try to make it look like it's on their body. And I said, that would never fly for my mom. And for a lady who really dresses well, it's almost embarrassing to be in a casket in front of family members being buried that way.
Yeah.
If you have that circumstance with a family, just direct them to me and I'll help them get over it. And he said, really? Could you do that? I said, I promise you and the family I will get it here in time for burial. And there was one circumstance in particular that sticks out in my mind where a lady didn't have children, had never married, and she left her last request to her sister and her niece. And I got a call from the funeral director. I'm hoping that you can help this family. It's a particular need. So they put the woman over on the phone, and I said, go into my website, take a look. I have this one particular dress. It's ivory, it's lace, it's bridal looking. And take a look and tell me what you think. Well, it didn't take a second for them to say, this is perfect, this is just what we're looking for. Bridal stores were not open at that time. Nobody else was going to take a chance by coming in, and it was at the height of the most difficult times.
Yeah.
So I decided that since I had made this promise to the funeral director that I would take care of it. So I came in all masked up, gloves, the whole bit, and when they saw it actually in person, it was perfect. And I felt comforted in knowing I was able to help people so directly at their particular time of need.
Yeah. It's brilliant that you had the thought while weddings weren't happening, you reached out to the funeral director to keep your business afloat. And then also, you are really touching people and helping them with a bit of a sensitive subject, can be. So that's got to be inspirational for you.
Well, it was a little difficult at first because when I told other people that I was doing this, they thought it kind of eerie. But I was always one to take a negative situation and make it a positive. Where my gowns are seen at the most formal of places, even the Plaza Hotel, now I prefer to think of my gowns as dancing in heaven with the angels. And who could think better than that?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
it has touched worldwide and in the heavens, so it's been a good thing.
That's great. And, you know, it's a need, whether people can think what they want or not. It's something that's needed and somebody has to do it. And so if you can make it positive and people look beautiful, that's really important, you know, like in the casket, funerals, it's very important. Everyone wants to look their best at these events too, not just the celebrations, the weddings, you know, it's everything. So I'm glad that you were able to do that during the pandemic.
There were some circumstances where there were emergency weddings, where we had gowns ordered for mothers, special ordered, beautiful things, and I would get a call, and that was another thing that I really made sure that customers could get in touch with me, so they had my cell phone number. They could contact me day and night. If an event was canceled and they had a referral date, postponed date, whatever, they could get in touch with me, and they didn't have to feel that, oh, well, the store's closed, so I can't get any information. They were always available to reach out to me. And we did have a circumstance where one lady the wedding was postponed. However, her daughter got pregnant in the meantime, so they wanted to have an emergency outdoor wedding.
Yes.
So I get this call, the wedding's been postponed, the gown and everything is on order, so is my daughter's. We're keeping everything on order. However, when she walks down the aisle at the reception at a future date, she's going to be carrying a baby, not a bouquet. And we had many circumstances like that.
Yeah.
So we just made it available that, you know, ladies could come in and they could pick out something, and most of the time it was somebody I already knew.
Yeah.
So they were very willing to work under the circumstances, being covered up and what have you. And we made some circumstances a lot easier to bear.
Yeah. Is that one of the most rewarding things about what you do?
Yes.
It's really helping
Yes,
the people.
it's really helping everyone. Yeah.
What would you say is the most challenging thing about running the Queen of Hearts boutique?
Well, I can't say that the industry is moving as fast as we would like it to be. Now, the largest lady I have ever had to fit had a hip measurement of 180 inches, which is quite a large size
Oh,
lady.
wow. So
There is no pattern, there is no
there
size
is no
for that.
size for that. Wow. What's the largest? Wow. What size does it go up to?
Well, in the store, I go up to size 30.
Okay.
If a lady is bigger than that, by all means, we may have to custom something, which is what we had to do for this particular lady. And there's also the circumstances as such that you have to work within a budget. And even
Yeah.
though these ladies are extremely large and a pattern has to be made for them, there are many other costs, not just the fabric and the trim and the size of the zipper. People don't realize when you're sewing a dress, if the zipper isn't long enough, you can't get it on over a hip measurement that size.
Right.
So we had lots of accommodations to make.
Yeah. So that definitely would be a challenge. So then with pricing, would you say, how does it compare price-wise to maybe other formal wear boutiques around?
There is a price differential, like I said, for fabric and trim and whatever. Generally, a plus size dress that's oversized 24, maybe 10 to 20% higher.
Well, it makes sense though. So getting the dresses, how do you go about picking out what's in the store or finding things to
I go
have?
to bridal stores, bridal manufacturers. Many of them, after 9/11, come to the store. So if it's a line that I already carry, I already know the product, I already know the quality. They come with a van to the store that's been converted to a mini showroom. And it keeps me available for the store. They come, they park outside.
Yeah.
And I can be shopping and still watch who wants to come in the store. Since COVID, we have been working by appointment.
Okay.
And I continue to do that at the request of the customer. They love the one-on-one attention. I
Sure.
don't have to divide my time between another customer who may have questions or who may want to use the fitting room to try something else on. So we make appointments. Ladies call, and we just keep an appointment schedule.
Nice.
And I haven't had anybody complain that they weren't able to get an appointment or I wasn't available to them. They pretty much love the experience of being one-on-one with the owner of the store. They're not even dealing with a salesperson.
Yeah, that's very exclusive for them.
Yes.
So if somebody was to ask you, if someone was going to try to start a boutique or something of the similar nature as you, what advice would you give to someone starting out that you wish you knew?
Do your research, number one. You have to have data to base your investment on. And it's everything. It's not just a matter of, calling Penny Saver and finding out what an ad is. The internet has gotten to be such a worldwide place to advertise.
Yes.
If you don't advertise on Google, go home. Cut it out, because that is the biggest one. And although 30 years ago when I started out, websites were only just beginning. So I can't say that anyone had a very interactive website. You were just there. Now you have to have a video, you have to have interviews, you have to have testimonials. It's never ending. So website is very, very important. And getting one that is somewhat dynamic and showing off your best side.
So that speaking of advertising, how do you get the word out? I know you're part of some of the chambers. We met at one of the New Hyde Park Chamber event. So what are some of the things that you do outside of just working at the boutique, like with the chambers and
The chambers
advertising
were a
locally?
very strong part of my getting the word out there. You can't wait for people to just walk in the door. You'll go out of business before you really get into it. You have to reach out there. You have to go to networking meetings. You have to be part of a chamber of commerce or multi-chambers of commerce. And that's what I did very shortly after I opened up the store. And they're volunteer positions, so it's hard to, even once you become a member, to find chambers that are so secure in their follow-through that they get people to sit on an executive board and be the decision maker of a community. I never said no. I always felt that there was a place for me to move up, and I enjoyed it, and I got to meet more people, and I got to spread the word. You can only spend so much actual money in advertising. And of course it has to pay off. But once you're out there, I used to do fashion shows for nonprofit organizations.
Oh,
that would bring the gowns to be at the Sons of Italy, Hadassah. Not so much chamber functions for that, but other nonprofit organizations as a fundraiser. I would appear and show up with gowns and meet with potential models beforehand who were members of the organization. But through the chambers, I managed to work my way up through Merrick and currently president of the Elmont Chamber. But I was president of the Nassau Council of Chambers of Commerce, where I presided over 42 chambers and almost 10,000 small businesses like myself who either work out of a storefront, an office building, at home. And I found it very enjoyable, and I still keep active with it today.
Yeah, wow, that's very impressive. And that is a great way to get your word out and network. And it's important locally, too. I know with a boutique, what do you think is the most important thing about shopping locally, if you were to tell?
That was a campaign that the Chamber started several years ago when the internet started becoming a very big thing. The department stores were killing us also very early on with spreading their wings. So shopping locally became a campaign. And it was during Sandy that small business owners were particularly hard hit. So the Nassau Council worked with some of the elected officials to provide some funds to advertise shopping locally in the communities during holiday time, and not just during holiday time. It was the start of which, but it blossomed into a year-round event where shopping locally within your community kept the for rent signs down. And people don't realize when for rent signs go up in a community, it lowers their property values. So by staying within their community, there's bound to be a service or a product within your community or a neighboring town that has what you need.
Yeah.
And I know that with the Amazons of the world, in 24 hours it's delivered to your door. If you ask a small business owner, can you please deliver it? They would do it in a heartbeat.
Wow.
And you would have it that day. I don't know of any small business owner who would say, oh no, I can't.
Wow, I love that you said that. Remind people of that. They would do that to support the small business too. And speaking of, I wanted to ask you also, I love the name Queen of Hearts for the boutique. What inspired that?
I love clothes. Till this day, my closets are abounding with clothes.
Yes.
So that's where Hearts came from. And queen size pantyhose was a plus size description for plus size pantyhose. So it was queen size pantyhose. So that's how I got the name.
Wow, I love that. I love clothes too. I know people probably thought that we coordinated today, but we actually were just on this. We woke up on in the same mood, I guess, with the red and black. It's obviously, I assumed that you love fashion. You're very stylish, and having a boutique, clearly. I'm so happy you came on the show, Julie. I'm really glad that you said everything that you said and that you are sharing this important message that I don't think is probably talked about enough.
It isn't.
And I'm glad that you're providing a solution for so many women too locally. So I want to give you the opportunity to tell our audience members how they can contact you, again, where they can find you, website, all of that good stuff, because I know we have people that are going to need your service.
Thank you. Yes, Queen of Hearts is the name of the store. We are located at 29 Merrick Avenue, downtown in the village of Merrick. We are on the internet. queenofheartsusa.com is our website. I am on Instagram also under the same name, Pinterest under the same name, and Google.
Yeah.
plus size formal wear and plus size formal wear on Long Island, and we come up. My advertising is there, so you will see me, and you'll see me in beautiful gowns, so you'll get a idea of what the store is really all about.
Yeah, great. Julie, thank you again so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. And to our audience, thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of the GC360 podcast. This episode was sponsored by Alliant Services, and we will see you next time.